I thought it would have been interesting bringing also some kind of example of the activities that, starting from this way of thinking, we could implement. And the first example is linked to our social charter. I start from the end. What does it mean for Bari corporate social responsibility? It means to make activities that are leading to a win-win solution, to make activities with mutual benefit for the society, for sure. We are doing that for the society, but also we want to have a benefit from these activities. We cannot allow ourselves only to make activities social-oriented without a kind of feedback. What does it mean? It means that we identified three main pillars of our social charter: environment, health and safety, and competence. And we have built up this chart that, according to me, it's quite clear. You see that there are two arrows, and the two arrows are pushing towards the two directions. Identified one pillar, let's define which are the activities that are giving a benefit to the society, but also to us. An example. See, in the field environment, CO2 reduction. By itself, it's clear that this is bringing a benefit to the society. But if we do that in a proper way, in a structured way, with projects on the machine and whatsoever, this is bringing also a lot of benefits to us in terms of environmental savings, regional key player support, and whatsoever. So anytime we were defining in activities, we were asking ourselves, let's exploit both directions. Let's make it so that at the end, society and Bosch, Bari plant in this case, are having a benefit from it. Without jumping into too many details, I just brought to you some example. Okay. Let's give a look to it and then I explain what it is. So this movie is showing a classical example of this attitude to have a win-win. So the linea verde, this is a green line translated, it means nothing, but for us it's only the attention to the environment. And what we have seen is that we have started a lot of technical projects on our machines, really technical projects where engineers have worked on the machine to reduce the CO2 emission, to reduce the consumption whatsoever. And so we have gained something from these activities in terms of euro for the plant. But then we have said, okay, we have learned something from these activities. Why not to spread this something to the people? And you have seen that we have invited all our workers to learn what we have also learned, and we have invited their children, and we have invited schools who came to our plant and were introduced by some of our guys, of our engineers, to this technical information, for sure, at their own level, so that we will building something for the future by making these people aware of the importance of this kind of activities. Another example I brought is related to the second pillar, which is the health and safety. Also there, for us, better working condition, healthy lifestyle are a must. We want to have happy people inside and healthy people outside the plant. And that's why we identified and developed together also with some university approaches which were not present in the plant before. This near-miss approach means if I am a worker, every day working on the line, maybe I have a fresh eye in seeing problems that my responsible guys are not able to see. And so we asked this guy to give us any hint, any information of possible incidents that they could see in their daily management operation, to give this information to their superior. The superior makes at once a check of the real possibility of getting an incident, and by doing that we have reduced dramatically the numbers of incidents because we are making prevention instead that going for corrective action afterwards. We have incentivized that, so that this means that any guy who is giving us an hint, hey, we could have that kind of problem. If the problem is real, is also getting a kind of budget or is recognized for his attention to these health and safety factors. And also, one example of the third pillar is the one related to the competence. I already mentioned we have many partnerships, especially with university and schools. I am very proud to say that we have also started, and we are the first reality in Italy to have started a collaboration with this technical institute, whose name is Cuccovillo. We have introduced in Italy something which is quite normal in Germany. We are a German company, but for sure we don't adopt everything they are using there. In Germany, it's quite normal to have a dual education model. So people are jumping to and from university because they are alternating the theoretical part of the classrooms at university with the very practical activities in the plant. And this is something we have started in Bari. This is the first time something like that is done in Italy. The Minister of Culture was visiting us 2 months ago because this is quite new, and we have built up what we call a small plant inside the plant. So these young guys are coming, they find there the possibility to use the machine, to learn how to use them, and we are sure that by this approach we are generating the future generation of good technical, which will be then ready for the job field. So far, for the first example I wanted to bring to you very shortly, a second example of our aim or will to improve ourselves is given by the BPS, which I was referring to before. What is a BPS? It's a lean-oriented production based on 8 elements. The elements, you can read it, but are quite simple. Pull principle in a production plant and not push. We don't want to have more than we need. Fault prevention, so prevention instead of a corrective action. Process orientation, flexibility, standardization and transparency in the workshop, continuous improvement, and personal responsibility. So this is our way to lean manufacturing, and this is what we apply to our direct processes. It's leading us to good results. I'll show you the results afterwards, but it was not enough. We thought, okay, this is something we do in the workshop where we have to do with the hard metal, but there are many processes that could give us advantages if we are able to improve them also in the so-called, or we call them like that, indirect area, so in the offices. And so specifically for the offices, we said, let's try to apply a similar concept, for sure customized. And we came to the idea of the value stream design in this area by applying again the same concept and trying to get the same results. To give you a practical example, what does it mean? Here, applying BPS, we can increase the productivity of what we do, and that's quite easy to be understood. But here we did exactly the same. By having a lean approach in the offices, we could reduce the needed man hours for some activities, and so we could have free capacity for other activities. I was referring in the beginning of the transfer of this gear pump, this low pressure pump, to Bari in 2013. We could convince our top management in Germany to transfer it to Bari instead of somewhere else based on the fact that we were not asking for anything. We were not asking for additional resources or whatsoever. And the resources which we had available were coming from this kind of activities. So from a lean thinking also of all the activities in the indirect areas. Here, our path. This is the way we like to see it. Somehow our road to the continuous improvement over the years, which can give us also a little bit the feeling, the pulse of the speed which we want to have in doing that. And I only brought 3 examples there, but many can be built up. The example of the BPS. So we said we need a tool. We identified the tool in the Bosch production system, and we first implemented that tool in 2006. In 2011, we were already awarded inside Bosch as being the best plant for the usage of the BPS. And we were, anyhow, it was not enough for us. We are still working on that. All these points are not arrival point, but starting point. In 2013, we started this job together with Fiat, trying to understand if there is any common interest in using this kind of lean manufacturing process, which could help us together on working to the common items which we face. Another example is related to the HR resources. The first associate survey was done in the modern concept, so to say, in 2005. We were awarded already in 2007. In 2009, we were identifying other tools, how to improve ourselves in the matter on how we treat with our employees. And then how not to mention for sure what happened last year, which has been for sure for us very, very, very important. We have started implementing the model of the EFQM in 2004, so now it's already 10 years. It's a long path, a lot of work to be done, but we are very proud to say that then we were able in 8 years, in 2012, to get first prize. So the first recognition from the organization that we were on the right road. And in 2014, the EE award was once again a confirmation that we were working towards the right direction, which is also the reason why I'm here, and I'm happy I got the possibility to meet all of you and show you the way we are moving in the plant. This chart is not heading that much. It's only giving a kind of hint about the speed I was referring before. In 2 specific fields, I choose the productivity and the delivery rate and the charts related to the benchmark. And here you see that for the productivity, we were rated inside Bosch as the 6th plant by this point of view in 2009. In 2013, and still today, we are at the 1st place. About the delivery rate, we are stable now since 2-3 years at a level of 100%. So we are always delivering what we want to deliver, where we were not at the level in 2010. Then, as a final chart from my side, as a conclusion, the conclusion is everything which we have seen, everything which was done in the plant was done thanks to the contribution of the people. Nothing could have been possible without the contribution and the passion of the guys which are working every day together with the management towards this direction. And that's the reason why anytime we can, we try to develop something which could enhance the contribution of these people. So this mini MAG is one of the things